My name is Dave Hughes. I work for American Water. I've been there for about 4 years. My title is Infrastructure Engineer. I work for a research group in American Water based in Voorhees, New Jersey, and my principal responsibilities are finding good practical ways to improve the infrastructure, perpetuate what we have in the ground, anything really that's innovative that allows us to get more effective use of the pipe systems that we have in the ground, and by extension that has come to include automatic meter reading. When I first came to American Water, I was actually given a task of working with Aclara, then known as Hexagram, to look at automatic meter reading in a different way. There was a company called Flowmetrics that had developed an acoustic monitoring system. They were proposing to blend it into automatic meter reading so that the data that they were conveying, instead of going out into the field to be acquired, would quite literally be transmitted every day through the Aclara fixed network system. It was a system that was being established in Connellsville, Pennsylvania, and I jumped in about the time that basically the concept was being proven, and we were about to go with dispatching something out into the field in a community known as Connellsville, Pennsylvania, one of our systems with about 5,000 customers. Connellsville is a very interesting place and maybe a microcosm of American Water in some respects. Although it's small, it has all kinds of terrain, it has all kinds of pipe, and the pipe is aging. There's, in this particular case, a pretty serious loss of water through leaking pipes, and what compounds the problem in Connellsville is the fact that the water is fairly pricey. It costs almost $2 a thousand to purchase the water. We don't make it ourselves. We rely on other companies, so that when we do lose water, it becomes a significant expense. So there was a great deal of interest in trying to develop a system that could help reduce the leakage. We had the theory was that if we could actually hear the leaks or look for suspects, and we could actually find these leaks before they came to the surface, we would solve a great deal of the non-revenue water problem in Connellsville. Working with the Aclara people, it's really been a pleasure. Maybe I should even go back before I was hired. There were very few companies who were really willing to step forward and respond to American Water's concept really, for how this the whole process of collecting acoustic monitoring on a fixed network system would function. Nobody knew it would work. Nobody knew whether or not it would become a success. Aclara stepped up. They were there. They were there working with basically a company of completely different direction and equipment. They were working with us, and right from the get-go, Kendall Smith and other people who followed on after him were very, very helpful in really making the process a success. They made sure that they did adequate testing before we even went out into Connellsville to have a pretty good idea that this project was actually going to succeed, at least to the point that the fixed network was going to convey the data that was being collected in the field. Aclara's role in the future with AMR, I think, is a very promising one for them and for the utilities at large. They didn't just sit on their laurels with what has gone on in Connellsville. They've advanced not only looking at one leak detection company, but other leak detection companies, trying to come up with the best solution. And I think just their aggressiveness and willing to look at new concepts, new ideas, is probably going to help the utility industry grow this whole business of using the AMR, AMI systems as a communications medium. The whole notion of taking an independent signal and not having it related to meter reads at all, but just simply using the network, putting the transmission unit in the valve box. These are all concepts that not only show imagination, but I think a little bit of courage too to jump up and to try these things and help us all. What does AMR technology mean to the homeowner? It probably means, bottom line, that their rates are lower, and I think that that's not something that they necessarily see or appreciate necessarily, but nonetheless it is a reality. And I think going forward that a lot of the purpose and roles of the AMI technology is going to be more focused on the customer, and I fully expect that with data management systems and access to data management, that Aclara is just going to be part of the general scene to bring this technology really more directly into the homeowner's computer or into their bill in some fashion that'll have meaning to the customer. But I think by and large the impact on the customer is a subtle one, but an important one.